Hello, my name is Quasia. I am a clinical intern at Lartey Wellness, and I'm also a graduate social work student. My experience is primarily in behavioral health, crisis response, and client centered support. I also have worked as a care control specialist where I've specified in crisis de-escalation, safety planning, housing support coordination, emotional support for people who are in acute distress and crisis. My work has strengthened my skills in trauma-informed communication, high acuity, crisis management, multidisciplinary collaboration and documentation. I'm really passionate about counseling, behavioral health, supporting people through difficult moments with empathy and compassion. So I have, worked with people who are in crisis. I have counseled them through many different types of crises, right? Whether it be emotional, dealing with suicidal ideation, um, relationship issues, um, housing crises, um, you know, anything that they are dealing with. I'm here to, provide an empathetic ear and also provide, guidance as well. So in my free time, I enjoy cooking. I like to watch TV, hang out with friends, read, anything that is relaxing and can center me. I like to read a lot of self-help books. So right now I am reading Let Them by Mel Robbins. Um, I think it's been pretty good so far. Basically, it's a book about um, you know, radical acceptance of people and people and also yourself, and navigating, relationships authentically, setting boundaries, things like that. So I am interested in working with clients who are, battling anxiety, depression, working through trauma, also those who, have ADHD. I'm interested in working with those clients as well. And I'm also interested in couples counseling, and really any dyads. So, friends, family. Um, no, I recognize that we don't exist in a vacuum, right? Like our environment deeply impacts us, um, as well as our relationships. And so I'm interested in, working with clients from that lens. So I would describe my therapeutic approach as, really just coming to the table with empathy, no judgment, just a space where, clients hopefully will feel comfortable really sharing with me, who they are, what they are desiring for their life and, how they're desiring to improve and change things. And, I really like a collaborative therapeutic approach. I like to work with the client to, develop a treatment plan and, go over, the best ways to help them because I believe that every client is an expert on their own lives and their own experiences. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I believe that, you do have the answers within you, and I'm just here to help you. find them, basically. So I am a fan of DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, um, but also cognitive behavioral therapy as well. Um, yeah, are the main two, I would say. The Gotham theory for couples counseling as well. I do my own work to be culturally competent, right? Do my own research. And also at the same time, as mentioned earlier, I do believe that people are experts on themselves and their own lived experiences, which includes their own relationships to their cultures, right? Like not every person in a specific culture is a monolith. And so, I plan to work with the client, speak directly with them, ask questions, get to know them personally, um, so that, I can help them in the best way possible in a way that is, the most culturally competent for them specifically. It has been rewarding, just to learn about people from, many different backgrounds, people who are from marginalized communities similar to myself, um, as well as, people who aren't, people from various, political ideologies and religious affiliations. You know, it's just been rewarding and beautiful to see how, we are all so different and unique, but we also all share a very common human thread of, you know, just wanting good for ourselves and the people around us. Um, you know, wanting to love and to be loved and, you know, to just generally succeed in life. Um, and so it's been beautiful to notice both our differences and our commonalities as well. So I do practice reflective listening. Um, I hear what the client has to say, and then I make sure to, repeat it or paraphrase it just to ensure that I understood what they were saying correctly. And, I asked them, like, did I, get that correct? Did I hear you correctly? Or, would you like to clarify anything? Stuff like that. I want to make sure that I am fully understanding what the client is saying. Truly depends on what the client defines as success, and what they believe, if they believe that it has been successful for them, right? Like if their goals have been achieved, um, depending on what that goal is, right? If their mood has started to become better, if they're starting to settle more into a routine, if they're starting to, you know, achieve a more like measurable or actionable goal, right? Like say they came in with the goal of I want to start waking up at 7 a.m. every single day. And then by the end of our sessions, they started to do that. And that is, successful therapy, right? Um, it all depends on what the client has defined as successful. And I agree with that. Yeah. So I've chosen to go into the field of mental health wellness because, you know, so much of who we are starts in our minds, right? You know, down to not only our personalities, but also, how we move, how we perceive the world around us, how we even interpret the relationships that we have, right? I mean, it's the core of our being. And so, I believe that in order to truly have a fulfilling life, your mental health does need to be prioritized. Um, and, I have just always wanted to help people. I just have this genuine desire for everyone around me to experience fulfillment in life. Um, and I believe that that does essentially start with mental wellness, mental well-being. It's interesting. I do think that I just genuinely have this internal drive, and it also feels like something that, is always needed. Um, and I like to go where I am needed. And, just, I've always just had that internal drive to, help where I'm needed. It's not really something that I've had to manufacture or push myself to do. Um, it's not, something that I, you know, get burned out of. I mean, I do take special care to, have engage in self-care just to make sure that I'm not pouring out of an empty cup. Um, but yeah, that desire and that drive and that passion to help people to, reach that point of fulfillment in life. Um, that's just a core value of mine that I've always had. So, what I would say sets me apart would be that, I am very personable. I am coming with, training and education and experience. But ultimately, I am, person centered in my approach, and I do just want to get to know you and help you and speak with you. Like, I'm not going to come at you with a bunch of therapy speak. um, I'm just, we're going to talk, we're going to collaborate, we're going to figure things out together. And I'm here for, you know, support, um, guidance where appropriate. And yeah, just again to help you, you know, come to the answers that I believe truly are living within you. It's just about finding and unlocking them. Been, it can be maybe a little intimidating at first. And, there is some trial and error, right? It does involve finding the right therapist. I mean, it's a lot like a relationship, you know. Sometimes, it doesn't work out. You don't have the best vibe with one particular person, but that doesn't mean that you give up completely. Um, you know, you still pursue and meet with, another therapist until you find one that does, you know, match your goals. Um, it's really, really crucial again to prioritize your mental health and your mental well-being, to be able to speak with someone who is able to help you work through, your thought processes and, any issues at hand. It's good to have somebody there for accountability. Um, and it's good to have someone who can help just guide you in personal growth. So, you know, definitely try it, give it a shot, try to go into it with a bit of an open mind. And yeah, we're here to support you. This is, what we love to do. So